So let me ask you this, how many times have you had to bite your tongue with your buyers or let them strong arm you, maybe into an unreasonable meeting or some atrocious level of discount? Worst of all, you feel like you've got to do it if you want to win the business. Well, guess what? That is complete crap. And what's even more surprising is that the less that you give in and the more assertive that you become, the more deals that you're actually going to close. So let's talk about becoming more assertive, how to do it, and the benefits of it. Hi, my name is Will and I make selling simple. Now today we're going over becoming a stronger, more confident sales rep by understanding and implementing our God-given assertive rights. First by tackling what we mean by becoming assertive, and later where all of your probably current passive beliefs come from. Then we're going to examine what your 6 assertive rights are as a capable, adult, self-aware human. And then finally we're going to take a look at the power dynamic of how these rights and their passive alternatives have been ingrained into you. And it's not your fault. This has happened over months, years, decades, or even a lifetime, how these have been ingrained into you since childbirth. Now, becoming more assertive, both in life and in sales, can be one of the most important lessons that you're ever going to learn. There's tons of value to this video, so let's jump right into it. So having trained over 2,000 salespeople now inside Selling Made Simple Academy, I know for a fact, because we've done assessments on this and training before and after on this process, a high percentage of sales professionals let their potential customers bully them around. They bend to the unreasonable demands of the people that they're trying to get the deal done with, and they take their prospects' kids to school for a month whilst nursing their sick Aunty Margaret just for the sniff of potentially closing a deal if it was even an option to them in the first place. And the crazy thing is that in our research, sales professionals with a higher level of assertiveness, those that don't get pushed around, actually do far better to hitting their sales targets, actually have far more chance of hitting their sales quota. This is because the best sales reps are ones that act like guides, not sidekicks. As the president of People First Productivity Solutions, Deb Calvert, put it in our recent interview,
your role as being a leader in any sales conversation. You know, the word origin of lead is guide. So you are the guide in that conversation with your buyer. And that is driving, right? You're taking somebody someplace just like a guide would.
The good news is that assertiveness isn't set in stone. You can actually learn how to become more assertive. And it all starts with learning your God-given assertive rights. So the first step to becoming more assertive is to realize that no one can manipulate your emotions or your behavior unless you let them do so. It's your choice, it's not theirs. That's because you have a series of assertive rights, not assertive wants or desires, assertive rights. Think of these rights as a basic framework for improving your life, having relationships with other human beings, being able to express yourself without the fear of judgment, and enabling you to help other people when you choose to help them, as opposed to when they bully you, when they browbeat you into doing it. These assertive rights determine your autonomy, your ability to act in accordance with your own beliefs and your own needs. And to be frank here, the sooner that you understand these assertive rights, the sooner you can start becoming a more effective sales professional. So, lots of preamble here. What the heck are these assertive rights? Let's take a look at them. First off, you have the right to offer no excuses or reasons for your behavior. You have the right to judge if you should find solutions to other people's problems. You've got the right to change your mind. You've got the right to say, I don't know. You've got the right to be illogical when making decisions. And you've got the right to say, very bluntly, I don't care. And the crazy thing is with these assertive rights that they're all pretty obvious, right? And even the least assertive person in the world has probably felt and acted on some of these before. So let me make this real for you. Let's say you're talking to a child, and the child is, say, 8 years old. Well, you'd probably take the assertive side of the conversation, and you'd leverage all of these rights by default. You wouldn't be worrying about saying, I don't know, if they asked you a dumb question. You wouldn't be concerned about randomly changing your mind about something. You'd just tie them into your story and pull them along with you as you worked it out. But all of this changes when we feel like someone else has authority in the conversation. Someone like your boss or a potential customer. In that situation, you'd never turn around and say, I just don't care, even though you might say that to a child. Now, logically, if we find ourselves not leveraging these rights, it means that we're being the child in the conversation rather than acting like a freaking adult. And so a quick question for you, right? With that bit of knowledge there, who do you think your customers would rather work with? A child or an adult? This seems obvious, right? So then why would you continue taking the role of a child in all of your working relationships by not being assertive with the people that you're engaging with? Now, just like this idea of the child-adult relationship, each one of these 6 assertive rights comes with a childish side of it as well. So let's run through each of these now, and as we run through them, make a bit of a mental note or leave a comment below if you feel like you fall into any one of these childish behaviors. So the first childish belief is that you should always have an answer as to why you did something, whether you were right or wrong. Otherwise, how can a parent judge you? The inverse adult belief here is that you've got the right to offer no reasons or excuses for your behavior. The next childish belief is that good children should sacrifice their own values and time to keep other systems or people from falling apart. That is, you should drop your playtime because you're off to church or you're going seeing a family friend even though you don't want to go. You should drop everything that you're doing so that the family can make progress and actually get in the car and go and do the visiting. Whereas the adult assertive belief is that you have the right to judge if you should find solutions for other people's problems or not. The next childish belief that you shouldn't change your mind. If you do change your mind, then you need to justify this new choice or admit that your previous choice was made in error and that you're a complete numpty. The adult assertive belief is that, well, you can do what you want. You can change your mind if you like. Which leads us on to the next childish belief where you must know the answer because, well, a parent has asked you a question and it'd be really rude not to reply to a parent or an adult. The adult belief on this is, well, if you don't know, you've got the right to say, I don't know. You don't need to make up some kind of nonsense excuse. Then we have the childish belief you must be able to explain yourself logically so that a parent can follow along and then judge if you are good or bad, incorrect or correct. The adult version of this belief is that, well, you've got the right to be completely illogical in making decisions. You can do what you want, you're an adult. And the final childish belief, and this is one of the most important ones out of all of them, so many salespeople fall into this childish belief, and it can ruin deals from the very beginning to the middle to the closing point. It just absolutely wrecks salespeople's prospects of getting deals done. The childish belief is that you should play nice with others and you should share your toys. The adult assertive belief, though, is that you've got the right to say, I just don't care. And this means you don't have to follow up a prospect when they're an idiot and you don't want to spend time with them. You can highly qualify your prospects at the top of the sales funnel, even if they say they want to work with you, even though you know that further down the line they'll drop out of the process. You've got the right to say, I don't care, or I just don't want to do that. So hopefully you can see each one of these childish beliefs were instilled into your brain when you were a child. And somehow by nature or society, you were meant to grow out of these at some point. But likely nobody taught you that and nobody told you that that's the case. So if you've not been very assertive in your life so far, it's not your fault. If you've been falling into any of these childish assertive beliefs, it's not your fault. Moving forward though, now that you know your God-given assertive rights as a freaking adult, there are zero excuses. You need to make these assertive rights your default responses when a prospect tries to bully you or take advantage of you, or your boss, your husband, your wife, whoever it is, it doesn't matter. And you can only do that by learning them and then practicing them every single day. So remember, you have a series of assertive rights that, when understood, are going to help you both in business and in life. Your 6 assertive rights are that you have the right to offer no excuses for your behavior. You've got the right to judge if you should find the solutions to other people's problems. You've got the right to change your mind. You've got the right to say, I don't know. And you've got the right to be illogical when making decisions. And the most important one, the biggest one here, you've got the right to say, I just don't care. This isn't me. I'm not interested. I'm not doing this. And when you start implementing these assertive rights immediately, like on day one, immediately, the first time you do it, you're going to see this power dynamic shift between whoever you've been dealing with in the past where you've been unassertive. You're going to start to approach your conversation as human to human, adult to adult, as opposed to this lopsided conversation where they're the adult and you're the child. So start being more assertive, Sales Nation, because you have that right. It's built into you. You need to do it to get deals done. So there we go. If you enjoyed this video, why not click the video that's on the screen right now and continue making selling simple.